people say that's actually a fairly recent song, but a lot of people ask me, are you still writing? You know, your friend Matt over here. And the fact is that I used to write songs about unrequited love. Most of my songs were about women leaving me, and I would get very sad and write a song. And it became like, wow, this girl just walked out on me. I just wrote a song and I'm getting royalties. I think I'm onto something. I think I'm onto something here. Do I know Taylor Swift?
The same thing.
What kind of question?
One of her hit songs was the same thing every time she broke up with a guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this is what, you know, so people ask me now, they say, well, are you writing any songs? I've been happily married for 30 years. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, we walked the dogs this morning. Everybody would be interested in that. Anyway, so there we were. The jug band broke up because we all went back to school. Myself and my friend Stefan and went to California for the summer. I took a sabbatical. And we were mainly in Berkeley, hanging out at I forgot, what was his name? The Guitar Shop. There was a guitar shop in Berkeley. It's in the book. But it was like Pigpen and Jerry Garcia would hang out there also, and it was just like a whole folk music crowd. Everybody knew each other, you know, before they got into their bands, and it was just coming up. In fact, then Stefan and I went to LA, and we met this kid who was a great guitar player, and the three of us jammed, and it really sounded good. So we got a gig at the Ash Grove, which is a folk club in LA. The kid's name was Ry Cooter, and we called ourselves the Gramercy Park Sheiks. And there's a picture of me, Stefan, and Ry, which is worth the price of the book alone, which is only $25, by the way. But anyway. So we came back, and I got a job at a place called Fred and Instruments. And Fred and Instruments was next to the Waverly Theater, and it was just, you know, where people took guitar lessons and stuff like that. So I taught on the weekends. Okay, so it's 1965. Things are really changing in the village. And mainly because Bob Dylan played Newport Folk Festival with an electric band. One of those, the keyboard player later turned out to be in the band with me. And that changed everything. So all my friends in the village that had acoustic guitars ran up to Manny's on 48th Street and traded it in for electric guitars. And I hadn't yet, but I got a friend of mine, Danny Kalb, did that. Danny was also a student of Van Rock, but he traded his guitar in for an electric and started a little R&B band, and you know, like Chicago blues kind of thing. But his guitar player, his rhythm guitar player, Artie Traum, went to Europe and left the band, and Danny came up to Fred and Instruments and said, are you interested in being a rhythm guitar player in my band? I said, I never played guitar, and I never played electric guitar in my life. I wouldn't know how to do it. I don't even know what those dials do. I have no idea why it's even plugged in. I have no idea what I would be doing. So forget it. He said, no. We'll take your guitar and we'll put a pickup on it, like it's something called a de-Armand pickup. And it fit in here. So, you know, and you know the songs, like Muddy songs and stuff like that. So come up to, they were playing at the Night Owl, and that's where we would rehearse. And so I went up there the next afternoon. We put in the de-Armand pickup. Now, I was an English lit major at the time. I was going to C.W. Post College, and I had a term paper due sometime on Yeats and the Byzantium poems. If you ever get a chance to read Yeats and the Byzantium poems, don't. You will fall asleep immediately, unless you want to fall asleep. I'm nothing against William Butler Yeats, but the poems are just two poems, but they're so boring. Anyway, I had to do a paper on this, but here I was that Janie gave me this pickup that was on 10, and I plugged it in to an amp that was also on 10, and all I heard was like this huge roar, like I was being attacked by a bunch of rhinoceroses or something. It was like horrible. It was, I mean, later, of course, it was known as feedback, you know. And of course, after my first acid trip, I learned to love it. But then it really was scary, really scary. And, but I decided to go ahead and give it a try. And we went and did a gig like the next weekend. And I was having the greatest time. I went out and bought bell bottoms, a Tom Jones shirt. I'm gonna grow my hair long. I started smoking pot. I got this English hippie girlfriend. And it was like heaven. I was in heaven. I was playing music on stage with other people, which was a new experience, but it was like, well, it's like a Chuck band. But it was fun. I was having a great time. So, here it is. I could either do that and have a great time playing music, or I could stay in school and do a paper on Yeats and the Byzantium poems. In other words, like my parents didn't just want me to be a doctor or a lawyer, they wanted me to be a doctor and a lawyer. But I decided I wanted to be in rock and roll, and that was the watershed moment in my life that affected me for all my life. I decided to be a musician.